This is Shantae.
And this is Letitia. And today our topic is going to be about when love ends, but you're still connected.
Yeah. So, when you're end of your relationship, you still are connected due to different situations. One is if children is involved. Of course, you're going to be connected because you are co-parenting. So that is one why you would still be connected to your ex. I would say the other person that's involved and both of the exes, of course, they may feel away or, they may not feel away, that you're still connected to one another. I feel when it's children involved, it's very healthy to definitely be connected to your ex because that shows a healthy co-parenting for the children. It's not about either one, it's about the kids at the end or the child. So, absolutely.
So yeah, I would agree that one of the reasons why you should have a relationship with your ex is because of children. Children see everything, so you kind of want to, just have that healthy relationship with the other parent. So that's definitely necessary when you have children together. So we touched on the relationship that you would have with your ex if you had children. Now let's talk about when you guys don't have children. What reason would anyone have to be friends with their ex if there's no children involved? Me personally, I feel like there should be no relationship. All ties should be gone. Especially if there was an emotional connection or whatever the case. It doesn't really matter how y'all broke up. I just feel like once it's over, it's over. I shouldn't have to deal with your ex, or we shouldn't have to have a conversation about your ex once they're your ex.
Yeah, especially if you're in a totally whole new relationship, boundaries has to be set. I do understand if you're crossing each other's path. Of course, hi, how are you? You may even introduce, him or her to, whoever you may be with. But anything outside of that, if it's over, it's over. It's nothing to talk about.
And I get that sometimes you guys may have had a long-term relationship and your families may be close and you may have been connected through other friends. I get all that, and that's fine if you see your friend and you want to speak or, whatever the case. I'm not going to act like I'm your parent and I got to watch your every move, but if I'm with someone and they're out and they see their ex, I would trust them enough to just know what to do.
But to touch on each other's family, you do have family that really take to that person and they consider them, their sister, their son, their daughter, right. Their brother, so at the end of the day, you really can't feel away because they have their own connection, as far as when family's involved. They have their own friendship.
And to me,
so
that's
you
fine.
Can't really feel away
about that.
And to me,
that's even fine. If they have connections with their ex-family, that's fine.
That's not.
But I feel like, what is the connection though? What is the connection, or what are you doing exactly with these family members?
It's just at the end of the day, that's just when you first meet someone, or you feel like a good energy from this person. This person is really genuine, okay? But hey, that relationship just didn't work out. Sometimes you still may want that person to come around. You never know. That person might have been involved in the ups and downs that you may have been going through.
And this is true, but do you feel like you'll feel comfortable if you came over with the person you're with now and the ex was sitting there on the couch chilling with the family? Would you feel comfortable?
It's about the trust.
It's definitely about the trust.
And being adult about it. Trust. When you're in a whole different relationship, okay, and yeah, you may see the ex in the living room hanging out with family, hanging out with a couple of your friends, you have to be an adult about it. And it has to be boundaries between, if it's set boundaries between the ex and your new person, and yourself as well, it shouldn't be no room for feeling a way about anything.
So that's when you got to go into trusting your partner, right? Because you can absolutely trust your partner, but can you trust their ex? Can you trust their ex not to be trying to be sneaky or trying to do little sneaky things behind your back that your partner may not be into?
But this is where the boundaries are set in place in the beginning. If it's no boundaries set in place in the beginning, of course it's going to feel very awkward, very unsure. The whole situation very unsure, and I feel as though you shouldn't put yourself in a certain situation if you feel like you can't trust this person. That means you shouldn't even want to be with somebody that you can't trust.
Well, I didn't say not trust the partner. I said not trust their ex. Like if they're around the family and lingering around, I can trust my partner, but do I trust the person that
But the
don't
thing
owe me
about
no
it
loyalty?
is, the thing about it is trusting your partner. That's all it is. Because if you trust your partner and your partner is respecting your relationship and have set boundaries, no need to worry about the other person.
But I also think that if their ex,
It takes two.
it definitely takes
It takes
right?
two. So if you have your partner that set boundaries and know what it is, he or she ain't gonna leave no room for nothing. Even if that ex was trying to get back or whatever the case may be, that person has to set the boundary. So it still goes back.
But do you want them constantly around that energy? Because my thing is this: even if he's a strong guy or is a strong woman that you're dealing with, and they're constantly telling this person to stop because they don't want confrontation by telling you,
then that means it's reevaluation with the person that you're with. Because now it's something that's created in your home. You can't control the other person's home.
so they should be communicating, basically.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it should be communication with the person you're with.
Right, I understand that. What I'm trying to say to you is it could be communication. But if their ex is trying to get with them and they're trying to stop confrontation, they don't want the confrontation because they're cool with everybody,
But
like their family.
goes setting boundaries. So you can't control someone else's home. You can't control that other family's home if an ex decides to stop by and say, oh, hey, mom, hey, cuz, what's up? You know what I'm saying? You can't control that. You only can control the person that you're with. It takes two to tangle. So if the ex is trying to be smart or trying to, wiggle their way back in, it's up to the ex to cross the line and know that this line cannot be crossed.
So I'm gonna say this.
And the person should be able to trust their partner if they're saying, listen, they're cool with my family, they cool with some of my friends, we grew up together, listen, I know what I have.
What if it's not
I
a
know what
grown-up
I
situation,
have.
though? What if it's not a grown-up together situation? What if it's an ex from a year ago? Or they had the ex for 6 months? It's not a grown-up situation. Like, what if they only had them for... This is my thing. If I know my son is coming over, or if someone's ex is coming over, I'm going to avoid them even being in the same room. Because to me, why would I do that? I wouldn't even want them to be in the house together, especially if this new person don't really know the background of everything. Now, maybe once she's there long enough and she understands, okay. But if the person don't know, that's a little awkward walking in a house full of people, even if they are close to this person, and you are there with the ex. It's just not a good feeling.
Well, if it's a new person, okay, yeah, I would have a problem with that because it's a new person. But if I'm talking about if it's somebody that's been in that relationship for a very long time, knows the family, it's just about setting the boundaries, period.
Yeah, it's always going to be about setting boundaries.
But then, if you still have those thoughts, then you got to reevaluate yourself and reevaluate this new relationship, whether or not you can trust this person. Why put yourself?
But you keep putting it on a person. I ain't putting it on a family because to me, I wouldn't have nobody.
But you can't control the family if they're allowing someone to come over.
But I can control allowing my
son.
Or
being around.
I can control allowing that person to come over there when I know that their ex is there.
But then you know what this sounds like to me? I don't want you talking to them, so y'all can't talk to them either.
No.
That's what it sounds like.
It sounds like respect the boundaries, like you said.
Exactly.
So if you want that person over there,
you wouldn't have nothing to worry about if boundaries are set.
Right, but if you want that person over there, I don't want that person over there while I'm there because I don't feel comfortable. If I go to someone's house and I don't feel comfortable with their girlfriend over there, I would think that the mother would have some kind of respect where she like, okay, well, she'll make sure she's not there when I'm here.
Okay, so once again, it still goes back to the person you're with. If he sets the boundaries correctly and speak with his mom, and they have that communication and that bond of respecting, hey mom, dad, so and so, if they call, they want to stop by, my person don't, feel okay with that, doesn't feel all right. If everyone's communicating and setting boundaries, then there's nothing to worry about.
Right, but
it's just about the
but
level.
Do that take a genius to... So this is what I'm saying, because I understand what you're saying. You're saying set boundaries, talk to your parents. But I feel like
whoever,
common
family,
sense.
friends,
I
whoever.
feel like it's common sense though.
Some people don't. Some people just don't be thinking about that. That may not even be on their mind to, what
that gotta be on your mind. If you're
listen, it may be on your mind and it'll be on my mind.
It's going to be on anybody's mind. I don't care who you are. If you're in a relationship with a man and you go over to his parents' house and his ex is there, there's no way that you're just going to walk in there and act like everything is just like, oh, okay, dirty. You're not going to do that. It's going to be something. You're going to feel some kind of way about it. That's just the bottom line. Now, I ain't saying snap out or act ghetto and ratchet and all that, but it's going to be some feeling that comes from you walking in there and seeing this person. They could be the nicest person in the world. I'm not making it seem like they're a bad person. They could be the nicest person in the world, but it's an uncomfort when that happens. Now, I never went through it, but I can only imagine
and
how I would feel if it did happen to me.
The communication is the key here. If you set the communication, if your family and friends know how the relationship started, how it ended, how you feel about it now, that
I
you
didn't
got,
know you met the family. I thought you was talking about boundaries.
I'm talking about with everyone. Mm-hmm. If it's communication,
if
it's
key.
communication
with your family,
with
when
all
it comes to your
parties,
ex.
You should you shouldn't worry about anything.
Right. You shouldn't.
You shouldn't worry about anything.
You shouldn't worry about it. But we all know we shouldn't do
and
other
just,
things.
Like I said, the communication is the key.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody is aligned, okay, then it wouldn't be nothing crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody's on the same page.
And then we're talking about a perfect world. Mm-hmm. You're talking about a perfect world, but we're talking about the world we live in.
The world we live in, if people don't have that mindset, that's how things get triggered. That's how stuff just starts happening.
So let's move a little bit to the next topic. And we're going to say, do you feel like you should be communicating? And when I say communicating, I mean phone calls, text messages, emails, or whatever the case with your ex.
Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. It should not be none of that.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is, back to asking questions. Why?
Mm-hmm.
I look at that as until you can really get the full detail of the reason why, okay, I will handle it accordingly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would say it's definitely communication, because if they are texting you or emailing you, calling you, whatever the case is, whatever the reason is, should be communicated into your present partner, so they at least know what's going on. So if they have communication, they feel like you're not hiding or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're hiding it, that's another story. If you're emailing or whatever kind of communication you have with your ex, if you're hiding it, then we know that that's definitely a problem. You should not be doing that. And obviously, there could possibly be feelings still there because you're hiding it. Because that would be the only way that you're hiding something, right? Yeah. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Mm-hmm. But it's just back to sitting down and, you know, getting all the detailed information, the reason why. And then just go from there. Yeah. Communicating with X can also be, I don't know, another person's fear of loneliness. You know, they don't know how to be alone and, you know, figure things out on themselves. You know, or it's just the comfort zone. The reason why they may reach out or still be, you know, connected in that aspect.
Yeah, because you could actually be on the other side. You could be the one that's lonely, and you could be talking to your ex, whether he's in a relationship or not. But just like if you're over it, try to be over it.
Yeah. Keep busy. You know, try to do self-reflection within yourself, and you know, just try to, you know, y'all not together for a reason. So you have to sit back and, you know, comb through everything and think about why y'all got to that space in the first place. So, you know, if you are lonely and, you know, you feel that's the only person that you connect to, you gotta, you know, get out and, you know, keep yourself busy. You know?
And everything that's broke, it doesn't need to be fixed. Sometimes, you know, God give us the signs to move on, and sometimes we gotta take it as such.
Yeah.
Hot topic.
Hot topic. So here's the hot topic for tonight. In Pennsylvania, including Philadelphia, it is now illegal to use handheld cell phones while driving as of June the 5th. So, everyone, please make sure your cell phones are not up in window display while driving, because you will get stopped and hit with a fine. June 5th, it kicks off. I know I have a habit of having my cell phone in my hand while I'm driving, but a habit
that we all have to get away from, because we all do it.
I only use it because I need it for GPS. So
that's why I use it too. Yeah. But you know, GPS, you can set your phone on the little thing in the front, the dashboard. So
please, everyone, drive safe and just be mindful of that. June the 9th. June 5th. It's coming.
Yes.
Okay.
So I would just say that, you know, we're going to be, as adults, we have been in a couple of relationships. Me anyway, I haven't been in too many relationships. But I would say that you're always going to have a connection with someone, but it's up to you in your present relationship to set boundaries and to make sure that you don't get out of line. So I would just say that we know what we're supposed to do in a relationship.
Absolutely.
And to be honest with you, we shouldn't be talking to our exes. I mean, granted, it could be a random situation. That's fine, but it shouldn't be a steady communication with your ex.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just a communication with everyone, setting the boundaries and putting them in place. When you respect each other, you know, you shouldn't have nothing to worry about. You know, communication is the key. And that's what, you know, keeps relationships strong in anything. You know, so whether it's exes or, you know, this long-term marriages, whatever, anything. Anything. Communication is the key. So, yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us once again. I don't even know what episode this is. It might be our 10th. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning in each week. Please follow our Instagram page, Brown in the City Podcast.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel, Brown in the City.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night.